loss, and how did it affect you, the loss of a friend?
So any loss, it actually brings a lot of grief to you, and the book revolves a lot around grief. I think when you lose a friend, it's very different compared to losing a grandparent or a parent, because the person is close to your age or is your age. So they have a bright future, and you don't really see them like gone from your life. And I think that really affects you, because one day you're just talking to them, and the other day you just realize that, oh, you can't really talk to them anymore. They're not here. The only way you can talk to them is like you talk to yourself and you act like they're there and they're listening, but there'll be no one to talk to you like from the other side. So I think the loss was something I couldn't really get over it. Couldn't really get over it. I was in 10th grade, and I didn't go to school for a few days. I didn't eat. I think that is what grief and loss makes you feel, and there's different ways to deal with grief. A lot of people like to distract themselves from it, and they do different things. A lot of people like to shut themselves, and I think I'm one of the people who shuts themselves in. So I was in my room, didn't eat, didn't go to school. But I think that is the whole point of any big thing happening in your life. You have to get over it. You have to move on. You have to accept. Acceptance is very important. And I think I realized that maybe he wasn't at peace. That he was at a war, and he wasn't really at peace. So I think at last he got the peace that he deserved, so wherever he is.
Alright, one last question before we wind up. Why did you choose to talk so much about grief and loss at your age, when children are thinking parties and dresses and friends and travel or online chatting? You have Snapchat, I think, and some more portals these days. We are ancient, so we are still on Facebook and Instagram. So you have all those new portals. Why did you choose to write so much about grief and loss?
So I think my first encounter with human death with someone who was very close to me was my grandfather, and it was something that I couldn't really like get over it, and people were expecting me to be fine with it, and they were like, "You're a kid; it wouldn't really affect you very much." But as I encountered more losses, I think grief was one emotion that is very much it's etched in my heart, and people don't really talk about the grief that children my age go through, and I have not read things about it anywhere. So I think I have met a lot of people who deal with a lot of stuff. Like there are kids there who lose their grandparents, and they go through a lot of sadness. They shut themselves in, and they don't really feel like themselves anymore. So I think there were not a lot of people talking about it, and I wanted to put the idea forward. I wanted people who are older than us, like the grown-ups, who think that it will be fine, the child will be fine. The child won't be fine. It's grief. It's something which no one can really get over. Till today, I think a lot of us have lost people in our lives. And I'm sure you miss them, and I'm sure you might not be over them completely, and you cannot be. That is what grief is. And that is why I want to talk about grief in general, because no one talks about it in teenagers.
I can completely understand what you're saying. I still remember losing my friend. It was very difficult. But as a college going child, you don't feel that anybody understands what you are going through. So we wind up here in the audience, and the book is available on Amazon. You can search for the title, or you can search for the writer. We have the writer right here, and you will get the link to buy it from Amazon in case you're interested. The purpose of the talk show was manifold. One was that you children, budding writers, were sitting over there trying to write something, have the confidence to understand that you can write, you can be published, you can be read, which is very, very important. So have faith in yourself. The second purpose was to bring the knowledge about such nice writing. I have tried reading the book because I can understand the loss. Am I audible, please? Everybody? So, you need to have another perspective, you will get it. If you're interested, and the best part is for all the people who don't like to read too much, it finishes in 1.5 hours. It doesn't take too much time. How many pages?
80 pages, 6 chapters, very short. They're short stories basically.
So you will have an interesting time reading the book in case you want to. And obviously, please feel inspired to walk on the same pathway and to glorious heights. Anshika Singh, thank you so much for being